Hey, what's going on, everybody? How are we doing today? Welcome to today's edition of Lead Sites Live. We're actually going to be talking about something a little bit different today. We are going to be talking about the best work from home tips that we have for you guys out there. EasyAgentPro has actually been a completely remote company for a long time now. So we are, I would say, I'm pretty well experienced in the realm of working from home and, basically how to be efficient about it. Know that there's probably a lot of you folks that are out there that are currently, this might be new to you, basically the idea of, kind of having, no, kind of office that you can retreat to. So you probably got your kids at home, things along that way. So I just kind of wanted to, kind of bang through this list of, I found this really great article on USA Today, to kind of go over it. And yeah, we'll start there. You guys have any fun anecdotes about your experience in working from home, go ahead and drop it in our chat on the side there. And I'm actually going to link to this too here. So yeah, let's go ahead and just kind of go right through it. So found this article. I thought it was pretty good. Top 13 tips to work at home, amid the coronavirus concerns. This first one, good internet connection. Okay, probably not the easiest one, to start with. If you guys are at home, you probably not only have, yourself using the internet connection, you probably got the kids that are, streaming movies, playing video games, maybe also just using a lot of bandwidth because they are, also, kind of using Zoom probably to do some of that remote learning. So I think what I would recommend doing is, make sure that you have, times of the day scheduled where, if you have to, send over a invite to do a Zoom call or something like that to clients, make sure that you're kind of blocking out some time there so that all that bandwidth is not getting used up. Might be a good idea not to, upgrade your Wi-Fi during this time. I know that a lot of service providers are doing that pro bono. And I also thought this was kind of a cool idea too, to splurge on a mesh system. So Amazon and Google both have these systems. Amazon's is called Arrow and Google's is called Nest Wi-Fi. And what these systems do is they enable you to basically redistribute your Wi-Fi throughout the house. So it will, if you can't get Wi-Fi signal in your living room, might be a good idea to invest in a technology like that. Dedicated space, I think, is super important. This one says, put yourself in a place where you won't get distracted by personal stuff, laundry, kids, making dinner. That is definitely not that easy for everybody out there. If I in particular have moved my home office to the bedroom, which I think is in general not something I would recommend to folks. I think that it's probably a good idea to have a sanitation. It's part of sleep sanitation. So basically, your bedroom isn't the place where you're doing all your work, but just due to the circumstances, I got to be working here for now. So, having a spot that is quiet, that you can, kind of have, a little bit of your own zone is definitely important. So wherever you can get that, make sure that you have it. Definitely don't want to have too much background noise on those Zoom calls and all that good stuff. Another pro tip is make sure, it seems a little bit unnatural because it's not quite the same way that a real life meeting would go. But if you're in a Zoom call and somebody else is talking, just go ahead and mute your microphone. Even though, you might have something to kind of pipe in with, it's really important just to kind of remove those background noises from the call. This is a pretty funny one here. So a good supportive office chair at the right height is definitely true. I would say if you can get back into your office and just go get a chair, definitely do that. Or otherwise, oops, lost the article. Here we go. Take steps not to be interrupted. So, this is a good one. You could probably do a little post-it on the door during meetings. For me, what that looks like is if I'm ever talking to somebody, I just close my door. And that indicates, to the others in the house that, I am working at the moment and, probably can't be interrupted. You definitely want to kind of take steps to do that. But also at the same time, everybody's kind of in the same boat right now. So don't be afraid to just kind of lean into it. If the kids are yelling in the background, so be it. This is an interesting one from the, the list here. Meetings part 1. Your office coworkers may like to do meeting or potential clients to see your face and communicate with you. So a lot of you guys might be working from desktops. That is definitely a possibility. But what you can also do with Zoom is you can use your smartphone camera as a webcam. There's apps that enable you to do that and to connect that with Zoom. So you can absolutely do that in order to, kind of be using it. The part 2 for the meetings here, Zoom has definitely been the go-to, and I think that you guys are probably doing that. What I would recommend doing is, if you don't have like a really great background, like a bookcase or something not that distracting, I would recommend just go ahead and leave the camera off for those, kind of in-office meetings. For meeting with a client person to person, maybe move it to somewhere that looks a little bit better, have a, kind of nice, non-distracting professional background in there. For instant messaging, we use Slack, which I think is a really fantastic tool. It enables you to have direct messages with folks, to PM people. Your office may already be using Slack or a service like it. Definitely check that out. So headphones, always a good idea. I just use the Apple earphones that typically come when you buy a phone, and they just plug right into my laptop. I think the mic quality is actually quite good. Definitely a good thing to do. Calendars. Oh, this is actually one that I want to talk about. So Google Calendar is really great for kind of setting up recurring meetings. A cool thing that you can do with it, and let me pop back to my yesterday here, is that you can set up a recurring meeting link in using a Zoom link that's going to be the same every week for your your particular meeting. So that way you don't have to 10 minutes before the meeting, you're not scrambling to get the Zoom link and then emailing it over to people. People just kind of know that it's happening. What we've been doing a lot to kind of check in with folks during this time is just doing weekly recurring meetings and just blocking it out so that you know that you have that time. This one is out Tuesdays at 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. If we don't need to use the meeting, then we just cancel it. If we do need to use the meeting, then we'll all just join up on that Zoom link at the appropriate time, and it's really easy and straightforward in that way. Security, this is definitely something that's a little bit out of, I think, our purview as real estate agents. Definitely just want to make sure that you're kind of watching out for scams and stuff like that. This one I think is pretty huge down here. So, this thing about little things is kind of good, just kind of having a nice, neat and space. The second screen though is definitely kind of significant. Definitely having a second monitor is fun because you can just kind of pop something out on there. You can use it with your laptop too, so that you can have like a big monitor that has all your email in it, and then you're using your laptop to work on contracts or something like that. Like you can absolutely kind of have that second monitor busted out in that way, and they're pretty easy to do too. You can also use your iPad for that. So like if you have an iPad, you can use the iPad for email, and then use a Bluetooth keyboard so that you can be, kind of writing emails on the iPad and then pop them back over to your main laptop. International phone calls, probably not something that you guys are going to, need to, check into too much. And then finally, this last one, not being distracted. That one is really hard. For me working from home, I definitely allot myself little breaks to, I usually sit down around 8:30 a.m., work until 10 or so. I had a coffee before that. I usually get up and I make another coffee around that time, make a little toast. Then I work until 1. Typically we'll make lunch around 1 and then work until usually like 5:30 or 6. And it's really important to think of those break times as just times when you're just kind of taking off from work. It's really easy just to be tempted to start late or work really late. But I think it's important to kind of keep those two things separate right now, especially during this time. So that is just a couple tips to maximize working remotely from home. If you guys have any other questions of your own, please let us know. We know that this is a wild time right now for the real estate industry and the real estate or business at large. So let us know how you're making out working at home, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Take care.